Hi, welcome to Mature Matters. My name is Cindy Gray and I'm your host. Today I have with me Dawn Priebe, and I'm very pleased to have you here, Dawn.
Thank you for having me.
And Dawn is a yoga teacher, a yoga specialist, a yoga aficionado, a yoga lover. And Dawn has classes that are available through Farmington Hills, the city of Farmington Hills, through their Parks and Rec department. Some have been at Longacre, our historic house.
Right.
Some are at Caustic Center.
Right.
Can you tell me about what you offer in that area?
The classes are for 50 and better.
Okay.
And pretty much we cover all levels. I gear the classes so that they fit who is in the class. You know, we work with everybody's abilities, and all the postures that we work with, we adjust. If you're tight here, we do it this way, and if this feels good, then you can take it further and go this way. So we play and tweak it so that everybody can benefit from the classes.
Okay.
And there is one class we do that's therapeutic. It's a little slower. We take more time. We work with the problem areas a little more.
All right. Now, are you able to help people that have stiff backs, tender backs, that sort of thing?
Aches and pains and recovering from surgeries and injuries and illness. Yeah, we can work with all kinds of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in general, you've been teaching for over 20 years.
Yes.
Right? You've been loving it for much longer than that,
Yes.
then, I'm assuming. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm a yoga lover as well, so we have some things in common. Tell me, actually don't tell me, tell our audience and our viewers what you can about yoga in general. What is Hatha yoga?
The question a lot of people ask is, what is yoga? Because it's becoming so popular, and what most people put the emphasis on is the postures.
Okay.
Yoga is a lot more than postures. Yoga is actually an ancient, thousands of years, practice that is a science of life. And the yogis created these postures and these other ways of living so that they could extend their life. They want to live longer, be healthier, be better.
Right. So it's a longevity science.
Right.
Okay.
It's about staying around. And more and more we're finding that we're getting longevity doctors and practices in the area. People want to stay. I want to stay.
Right.
I want to get
With
better.
quality of life
Right,
the whole
yeah.
time.
Yeah, keep going and feel
Right.
good. So often I hear people say, what's the use of living? You're going to get old and decay. Well, if you take care of yourself, you can get old and do better.
Right.
And stay and have fun and do things.
Right.
And yoga is a real powerful tool to help you be stronger, healthier, live longer.
Okay.
So postures are a big part of it, but there's also the breathing, there's the diet, there's the proper relaxation. And in the classes, we talk about all of that.
Okay. So that's interesting then. So if people studied with you, for instance, they would be able to learn enough where they could incorporate some yoga into their daily lives off the mat, if you will.
I strongly encourage them to take the practice home. A lot of times when I introduce the class, I'll say, pick the one you like the most, pick the one you hate the most.
Okay.
Take them home and do them, just 5 minutes, even if you just do 5 minutes.
And you mean one specific posture that they like?
Two postures, one you like,
and one they don't.
the one you don't like. One feels good, one's kind of ouchy. Take
Okay.
it home.
All right.
Because the ouchie you need, and it's good to take care of yourself and feel good. The practice is about experiencing your body and challenging your body, but it's also about remembering how to feel good in your body.
Okay.
And help it work for you. So
All right.
both, you want to do both.
I've had a lot of people over the years say, I always forget to breathe, or I don't feel like I'm breathing. And I always assure them, trust me, you're breathing because we're talking. But I tell them, don't worry about whether it's a nasal breath, a mouth breath. You can adjust those ideas later on. Just work on continuing to breathe while you're moving.
And knowing you're breathing.
Right.
That's really being so connected and focused that you know as you're moving, you're following your breath.
Right. I tell people to release the breath as they release the move. Then that kind of is a trigger for them.
Yeah.
So tell me about yoga years ago when you were first studying. Where did you learn in general?
I was a workout maniac. I was always at the gym, always working out, and meditating and working on getting my head right. And I remember complaining, okay, workouts are going great, my body's getting stronger, and I'm working on my thoughts and my meditation, my mind is okay, but the two aren't getting along.
Right, right.
They're just not getting along. We're
Okay.
fighting every day. Body and mind, we're fighting every day.
Right.
And so I got to find a connect. That's what I put out. I've got to find a connect. And I walked into the gym, and they were offering a free yoga class. I thought, okay, I'm going to see what this is.
Okay.
And I did the class, and it's like, oh, this is it.
Something clicked
This
for you.
is it.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
This is what I was looking for. So that's how I found yoga.
Okay.
And after practicing for a while, I decided this has to be shared. This is too good to
Right.
keep. This has to be shared.
It is a jewel.
Yeah. So I decided I was going to learn how to teach and found a
Okay.
teacher's training class.
All right. Recently, someone gave me a magazine, and it's a Time magazine of all things, with alternative medicine, all sorts of different facets of alternative medicine. And they have an entire chapter on yoga in here. And I found it very interesting that they mentioned that doctors are referring people to yoga now, referring people, not prescribing, but recommending. And also that research is now showing that yoga does increase bone density. And for a long time, people used to think that there was no aerobic benefit from it. There was no bone density assistance and so forth. And I always felt intuitively that wasn't correct. We just knew it, you know. Can you comment on that?
It does more than bone density. I mean, they're finding more and more. I just heard on the radio the other day that inflammation is a major health issue with older people especially, but even with younger people. And they're saying, yeah, yoga helps with inflammation.
Okay.
Yoga helps lower your blood pressure. It makes your muscles stronger. Yoga calms an emotional reactive mind. It does everything.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah.
does everything. And that's what we were talking about Iyengar earlier. Iyengar teaches you how these different postures can specifically work issues in your body.
And when you say Iyengar, for our viewers and so forth, you mean BKS, Iyengar.
Yes.
He is a living guru. He's probably in his early 90s now. I have a collection of his books, a lot of light on yoga, all sorts of his books. And his daughter, too, is a yoga practitioner and teacher. But the photograph in the very beginning with him, and I'll show this right here, he's probably in his 80s at that point, and he's still alive, and he still looks just as good. And he is known for being very much of an advocate on alignment. His sort of classes are the sort that I first started taking too in the 70s and in the 80s, and I fell in love with the focus on alignment and props and people using blankets to sit on if they can't get comfortable sitting on the floor. Just boosting the hips up so that the knees can, go down some. Also ties. He uses ties. He uses the wall, chairs, all sorts of things. And I think this sort of Iyengar yoga, which is basic hatha yoga, but it's his style, is really good for seniors because it helps them get involved with yoga in a safer way. Like for instance, if you're using a block and you reach for the floor and you have a block, it brings the floor higher up.
Yeah.
So it's not cheating, it's just an assist. Do you use any props or anything in your classes?
When we teach in a studio, we have blankets, we have blocks, we have all kinds of tools there. Usually with the classes, I encourage people if they're having difficulty sitting, explain how a block would work, where they can find them, how they can maybe fold their mat to assist them in a posture. Sometimes we pull chairs out and help people with chairs so that they can get the flexibility back in a seated, safe place, and then as they get stronger, find their way down to the floor. So it's always a process of, seeing where people need assistance and finding the proper tools and guiding them to find the tools. I always encourage people when they come to class, bring a blanket.
Right.
If you've got, if you don't have yoga blocks and you're stiff in your hips, bring some blocks. Pick some up at a local department store.
Yeah, all
they're
the stores
everywhere.
have them now.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
And use the props to help you get in. And that's the joy of this practice, is that it's accessible to everyone. Absolutely everyone can do it. As long as they're breathing, they can do yoga.
Right.
So.
Right. I had a student once that had an old yoga mat, and instead of throwing it out, and she really wore that mat out. So I loved her dearly because you could tell she'd really put a lot of hours in on her magic carpet. And she cut it up and made extra bits of it than when she was on her knees in different postures, like in table, and her knees were tender. A lot of people have, sensitive knees. She would put extra padding under her knees. And I thought that was brilliant, just brilliant.
It is.
Yeah, and resourceful. How do you think what can we tell our senior population that may be watching? What can yoga do for them at this stage in their lives?
Oh, it can change your life. It really does change your life. Just even if you're stiff and you're sore, just sitting down and breathing consciously, following your breath, is a real great start. So if you're afraid to get on the floor and do stretches on the floor, sit and breathe, and then just start to move. Move your arms, put your arms up over your head, stretch to your side. Just start to move a little bit, and you'll notice that the joints start to work better, and the aches start to soften. And one of the things that a lot of people talk about is, I sleep better at night. I can relax more. It can actually even change your disposition. Did you notice that when you started? You become a different person.
I'm more wicked when I'm not practicing.
Yeah, I'm nicer now.
Yeah. And I do think that people don't realize how shallow they are breathing until they start focusing on the breath. In yoga, we call it pranayama, and prana is the breath of life, basically. But people don't realize how shallowly, is that a word, shallowly, that they are breathing. I've had a lot of students in the past that have asthma or had asthma, and they found tremendous relief.
I had asthma when I started yoga, athletically induced asthma, and within was months, I was off my inhaler.
Well, your diaphragm probably became stronger. The muscles in between the ribs, the intercostals, probably strengthened up and became more flexible in order to move together. I think yoga helps the body move in harmony with itself.
Everything works together then, yep.
Yeah.
Lowers your blood pressure. There's so many good things. We got a whole list of good things.
We do. Why don't you take a peek at those and tell me what you'd like to, or share with our group what you would like to talk about.
Well, the obvious is that it strengthens your body. You get stronger and you get more flexible. When you get stronger and more flexible, it also improves your balance. And one of the things that when people age, they lose their stability and they fall more. So
and the fear,
the fear of walking, the fear of moving. So that gets you out and gets you going. Your joints get better. Your hands work better, your elbows work better, your shoulders work better, your knees and hips are better.
So it can help with arthritis, osteo, rheumatoid,
you name
it.
Just aches and pains, tension. It eases tension physically, and it eases tension mentally and emotionally. It's, you said bone density. Definitely. Aches and pains in your back. So many people have problems with their back. And just the most simple yoga postures help to ease that back pain and make you move better. Cardiac conditioning. They use it now in the hospitals for people recovering from heart attacks. They use yoga and meditation as part of the program. So if you've had any heart issues or want to prevent heart issues, yoga's great.
And when they do that, are they doing a lot of chest openers too? Working on opening the chest and so forth?
In the cardiac programs they do. They have good stretching programs. Mostly they focus on meditation and calming.
Relaxation aspect of it?
Mostly from what I've seen in those programs. Cortisol levels, blood pressures lowered, sugar levels lowered, and it helps you improve your memory. And IQ is even what I've heard, so I'll have to check mine and see if it helped.
If you remember to do it.
My favorite part, and like I said, the one I hear the most is that people say, I can sleep so much better. And the other one that I hear that I think is so funny is my husband or my wife says, go to yoga. I like you better when you do yoga.
They should go together though and do partner yoga.
A lot of them wind up doing that. A lot of them do wind up doing that. So, there are so many more good things, and the more they're bringing it into the hospitals, they're working yoga practices in cancer with cancer patients now. It's everywhere. It's becoming more and more mainstream.
I like the thought too that yoga, it may not make your body perfect, but it can help you feel more perfectly suited to the body you've got, more comfortable in your own skin, I think. I talk a lot about the lymphatic system, and I often use a little prop. It's a silly little prop that probably came from a bag of oranges or something, I don't know. But our skin, underneath our subdermis of the skin, we have lymph. Lymph runs throughout the whole body. And the heart is a pump, and it's a physical pump too, and it pumps on its own. The lymphatic system has no pump. It relies on movement in order to flush the system. And this is where, if the system's not flushed, disease and illness then have a chance to take hold. So I tell people, just think underneath your skin, you've got this complex, amazing network, matrix really of collagen, elastin, and who knows, all in there. So when you're doing yoga, you're moving that lymph around. And I think that's why people feel so much better all over, is because the lymph is all over, and it's like the river of life, and it moves. So we're stimulating that movement and flushing toxins out of the system. A lot of the twisting poses too, people think they're twisting and, oh, this is great for my spine and so forth, but they're also squeezing the lymph nodes, like in the armpit area, the groin and so forth. And I think that's part of the disease prevention of yoga.
And it definitely does strengthen your immune system. Yeah, everything, the whole chemistry of your body. Cells can communicate better. You have to move to get this communication going in your body.
All right.
So you get cell-to-cell communication, and your body knows what to do if something goes a little haywire. It's very, very powerful.
Okay. Do you have a lot of seniors in your classes?
Yes.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. And do you find over time, if they're repeat clients, if you will, repeat students, that you're seeing a difference in their abilities, for instance, maybe to get on the floor, to get off the floor?
Getting up and down easier, and that's one of the games we play too, is practicing getting up more and more without using your hands.
Okay.
Or using your knees, if you can just stand up from the floor.
All right.
That's one thing we play with.
And you can assist then new students who have a fear of not being able to get off the floor. A lot of people say, I take yoga, but I couldn't get off the floor.
Yeah.
Well, that's part of the teaching.
Yeah.
So you can help them to get past that?
The first thing I say is, watch what you say.
Yeah.
You say you can't, you're right. Okay, let's see what you really can do.
All right.
So, yeah, it is a process. And so, sometimes, you have to maybe use a chair the first few times, and then as your joints start to move and your fear, more than anything, goes away, then you're willing to try a little bit more and experience, take a chance.
Okay. Do you find more men are participating in yoga now?
Yeah, their wives are dragging them in. And it's great. It's really great. Usually it takes a while before they get there.
And it's funny because in India, where yoga started, it was primarily patriarchal, primarily a male-dominated practice, if you will. And yet in the United States, it seems to be more woman-driven. And now men are starting to pick up on it too. I think a lot of different classes, they're having the power yogas and the different styles of classes that are tougher. And I think sometimes maybe some people want that intensity. I've always liked traditional hatha myself. And I think you can, like a dimmer switch, you can turn it up and down however much you want.
Exactly.
I don't need to be sweating profusely to do it and so forth. But I do see a lot more men taking it now.
Yeah.
And I think they're so stressed quite often with the corporate world and just the workplace, people, the economy, everything. And they need an outlet, and they're finding that yoga works for them.
Stress is everywhere. It's good to have tools. This is a great tool. Yoga is a great tool.
And you teach people how to take it off the mat then?
Yes.
What to do at home?
Yes. It's really encourage them to take it home. I start my classes with, as you move through, pick the one you like the most, take it home. Pick the one you hate the most, take it home. The one you like the most is your feel-good place, and the one that hurts is the one you need.
Okay, that's your challenge spot.
Yeah.
Now, do you find that they'll write down, they'll make some notes on what type of pose to take home, so to speak?
No, I discourage taking notes.
Oh, okay.
The class is to be experienced, and as they do it more, they're going to remember what.
And you'll tell them the name of, often they're named after animals and so forth, or what have you, named after nature. They'll remember the name.
I usually don't say the names.
Oh,
sometimes I do, but usually it's just feel it, experience it more so than think about it. That's part of the stress that we're all under, is that we're always taking notes and memorizing and rather than
struggling
just
to remember.
experiencing it.
Okay.
And what I'll encourage them to do, because they'll say, I forgot what we did. I really liked that, but I forgot. So I'll say, okay, sit down and do what you remember, and then start to move and do what feels good. Make it up. Because every way is the right way.
You seem to have a playful attitude about it, too.
Yeah. We can make it work, or we can let it work for us.
Okay.
And I really encourage playing with it, because the traditional postures, you look at the book, and what Iyengar was doing in that picture, can you put your leg up behind your head?
No.
Okay, nor can I. So do what you can do.
Right.
And just move, just moving. And you'll find what works for you. And remember whatever you can remember, and then play with it and find your own.
And build from that. Some days are worse than others. Some days are better than others, too. Yeah. Okay.
So it's
great.
finding yourself. Finding yourself.
Okay. Excuse me. Well, I'd like to take some of your classes over at the Caustic Center myself. How would people sign up for them? How would they connect with you there?
You can contact the City of Farmington Hills Department of Special Services, and they've got all the information, all the class schedules, and you can prepay. You can prepay and get a discount on the classes, or you can do walk-in.
Oh, now that's handy for newcomers too that
Right.
want to check it out.
Check it out. See
Okay.
if it works.
And then at Longacre, don't you teach there sometimes too?
Tuesday, Thursday, 5:30 in the evening.
Okay.
We're there.
All right. And how many people do you often have in a class?
We get kind of full sometimes.
Okay.
They fill up.
10, 20, 30, dozen maybe?
We've 20.
Okay.
We've had as many as 30 in the Longacre house. It gets a little crowded there.
Oh,
So,
all right.
and as many as 30 in the Caustic Center.
Okay. And people would bring a yoga mat.
Bring a yoga
hopefully
mat.
1 or 2 blankets maybe.
A blanket. If you're feeling stiff, bring some blocks.
Okay.
Because we're in the gym, or we're in whatever rooms are available. Sometimes it gets cold, and relaxation is a really, really important part of the practice. So I encourage them to layer the clothes
Okay, so they can
that-
cuddle up some.
so they can get warm if it's cold, or take it off if they get hot.
All right. Well, I appreciate so much you being on the show. We've been speaking with Dawn Priebe, and she's a yoga teacher, yoga sharer, yoga lover, and I hope to have you again, and we can talk more about yoga. And with that, I thank you very much for watching Mature Matters.
Thank you.
You're welcome.